Welcome back to This Is Not CBC.
Good afternoon, everybody. We're coming to you this afternoon with a very heavy heart. We've been following this story closely for months. And when we heard the news this morning, we were absolutely sick at what we learned.
Of course, because nothing says, welcome to your Canadian news, quite like your government deciding to kill hundreds of animals on your property without fully testing them first, just like your average day here in Canada, guys.
Yep, and here's what's happening. The Supreme Court of Canada has declined to hear the appeal of Canadian Food Inspection Agency's order to cull the flock at Universal Ostrich Farms in Edgewood, British Columbia. This decision this morning means the culling of roughly 400 ostriches is now moving forward.
That's right. They said no thanks to giving the farm more time or more testing or a different path. The court just closed the door, so now innocent lives, yes, ostriches count as lives, are set to be destroyed.
Now, let's go through the facts. Many are heart wrenching. The farm had an outbreak of highly pathogenic avian influenza, subtype H5N1, detected late last year. Initially, 69 birds died. The government then claimed the remaining birds, even though apparently healthy for months, still pose a risk of spreading the virus or mutating it.
Yeah, but here's the kicker. The farm owners say their surviving birds are healthy. They've shown no new deaths or new illness for months, and they want the birds to be independently tested to prove the fact. Yet the CFIA says, oh, sorry, too risky. Now you must kill them anyway.
Exactly. The agency says the flock could act as a reservoir for the virus, exposing wild birds, animals, or even humans via mutation. They also emphasize trade risks for Canada's poultry industry and export markets.
So let's just ask the obvious on whose interest it really is. Because a government takes your property, labels it as an infected premises, seizes control, and now orders the destruction of life. And you, the citizen, you wake up and there's nothing but, we told you so, and move on.
Exactly. Now, the court record shows the federal court and the federal court of appeal held that the CFIA's order was reasonable under the Health of Animals Act, finding the agency acted within its statutory authority.
Which means the government and its agencies have the power. Right, Chrissy? Big, scary
Yeah.
power to override property, override rights, override science, and in this case, at least the cries for more testing. And you know what? You watch, you lose, they win.
They win. What's also disturbing? The farm owners say the birds could have value for scientific research because survivors may have developed herd immunity. They asked to partner in testing, but were rejected. The agency was simply said no.
Of course, research, learning, accountability, please, those are inconvenient. Far easier to just pick the biggest stick you have, kill the flock, send the message. Don't question us.
Yeah. And the bigger question looming, is this really about protecting public health or is it about control? Because when you remove property rights, when you override lives in the name of safety, something doesn't sit right.
Was it about pharma? Did someone stand to gain? Or was this about showing Canadians, we are the state, you will obey, you will not push back? Because look what's happening right now with Chris Barber and Tamara Leach. Big players, legal battles, appeals, marginalization. You push them, you'll be grounded down.
Yeah. And yet, murders, child rape cases, serious crimes, we see them walking free or being handled slowly while this farm fights. It's urgent, brutal, simply ruthless. The farm owners had arrests, search warrants, RCMP involvement.
So we should ask, where is the justice? Where is
Where is it?
accountability? When the state acts, who watches the watcher? The judges on the Supreme Court signed off by refusing review, by the way, effectively saying they won't intervene. That's the Supreme Court of Canada, folks. The Supreme Court. There's no one above them.
Yeah. And the farm owners have been ordered off their own property by the CFIA and the RCMP, told to leave or face removal. The birds now under government custody, the owners locked out.
Oh, and the flock? Untested. Untested. That's right. They're being killed despite the owners and outside scientists requesting independent testing. This message is we decide, we kill, end of story.
Yes. Now, let's not forget the human side. These are animals raised by a family. They're part of their livelihood. The co-owners have said repeatedly that these birds had personality, were loved, were thriving after the initial outbreak.
And we're supposed to feel okay about a government wiping them out for, in quotations, risk? Okay, fine. But question this: when you question, when you protest, when you push back, the state comes for you. If not today, tomorrow.
The question now for Canadians: what precedent does this set? If a remote ostrich farm can be overridden by Ottawa, by the CFIA, by our courts, what about you, your property, your rights, your voice?
Canadians, are we going to stand for this? Are we going to let this pass? Because today it's ostriches, tomorrow it could be you. Questioning the government? Don't, because this is what you'll get: loss of rights, loss of property, loss of control.
Super, super sad. I got chills. We'll continue to follow this story at Universal Ostrich Farms. We'll watch for any last minute legal moves. We'll look for whether independent testing ever happens. We'll watch whether accountability is demanded from the CFIA, the RCMP, and the courts, the government.
Because if there's no accountability, no transparency, then the system eats up the little guy and we all lose.
Unfortunately, yes. Thank you for joining us this afternoon.
You guys stay angry, stay informed. Your rights matter, or at least they should. Thanks for watching.